In this video, we're going to talk about my hometown, Arroyo Grande, California. As much as I loved it, I just don't want you to regret moving here. So I'm going to give you some info and make sure that you make a good decision as you're exploring the Central Coast, California. So we're going to get to it right now. So if you've been thinking of moving to Arroyo Grande, I want to give you some information to help you figure out if this is the right place for you. The first thing I want to bring to your attention is that there is a lack of revenue for the city of Arroyo Grande. So what that means is even though we are a tourist attraction, Arroyo Grande is just minutes from the beach. Pismo Beach is its nearby beach, and Grover Beach. But Pismo Beach is a very big tourist attraction, and it has hotels and resorts all alongside the bluffs, down by the pier that's been completely revamped. So they've got all kinds of revenue, and that's why you always see Pismo Beach working on the roads and all that good stuff. Arroyo Grande is only about 5 minutes from there, 5 to 7. However, it just doesn't have these big hotels that bring in the revenue to help the infrastructure for our city. Therefore, a lot of the roads are just a little bit more deteriorated. We don't have roundabouts that we see in a lot of these newer communities. Really, you don't see that throughout South County, really. So where Arroyo Grande is, all these little towns just really kind of spill right into each other. So we're not a huge proximity of roads to get to one city to the next. We just kind of spill right into each other. So it's a really nice that you can get to Arroyo Grande and be away from the coastal influence. But that's where all the hotels are and bringing in the revenue. So unfortunately for the city of Arroyo Grande, things aren't getting kept up as much because there's just no money. And if you're going to get money to come into the city, what are you going to have to do? Well, you're going to have to, unfortunately, get that from the community, from the people. And that's a very difficult thing to do, especially coming out of what we just came out of, where small businesses were just hit tremendously. We're a small community, and we just didn't have a heart to go after, the small businesses that had suffered so much, spilling over to their families and so on and so forth. So there's not an easy answer for that. So again, it's just not revenue for Arroyo Grande, and hence we don't have roads getting worked on, and we don't have infrastructure to accommodate the population that grows. So that is just something to be aware that as you're moving into the area, we're probably going to maybe see some higher taxes. Sales taxes go up for the community in Rio Grande. The good news is our water's doing good because of all the rain we had. So they've released the restrictions for water use in the city of Arroyo Grande. So that's on the flip side. So again, just letting you know that the city doesn't have huge revenue, and therefore our roads cannot get fixed as quickly as we would like them to. In addition to not having enough money for our roads, well, that also impacts our drainage systems. Down through the village of Arroyo Grande, we have some drainage systems that haven't been addressed in many, many years because we don't have the money. So again, the city council and city is working very hard to come up with ways of generating money. So, we can't get too much from the state, and that's just an unfortunate thing. So that's just something to be mindful as you're making your way over here. Get to subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos about the Central Coast, California. Don't forget, at the very end of the video, there's more videos that come up about Arroyo Grande and the Central Coast. So you can continue watching and learn some more. All right, so another thing I want you to know, I don't want you to regret moving to Arroyo Grande without knowing that buildings are older. So we're not like sky-rise, innovative commercial buildings that have been constructed. There's few and far between. You'll see some on the main drag, Grand Avenue, and there is a really beautiful building on Traffic Way, Rugged, that is one of the few buildings that really thought out what they were doing, and we really appreciate that. But for the most part, our buildings are old here, like circa like 1800s, down in the village of Arroyo Grande. So you're not going to have those, high skyscrapers, like I'm saying. If you're looking for that city life, that sort of infrastructure and vibe and atmosphere, well, that's not there. We just have historical buildings. The village of Arroyo Grande is just a little older downtown area, and it's tranquil and quaint, and so it definitely has an inviting atmosphere, boasting a lively community and an array of cultural events and our festivities all year long. Locals love it. It hasn't really lost its charm, but it's definitely changed over the years. Different businesses have come in and out. The structures themselves have not lost their continuity and their preserved architecture. I grew up near the village of Arroyo Grande, and it is just a quaint place, a tranquil place that you can get away from the hustle and bustle. I mean, it hosts the swinging bridge, which is the only swinging bridge in California. That's going to get a little bit of some reinforcement during the summer because you can only work on that during the summer. 5 people can only go on it. It's got some weight restrictions on that. Some people get a little sketched out on that, but it is really cool if you are into that. You got to check it out. It's right there behind Rooster Creek. So that is our bridge. It's been there since I was a kid and grew up in the area. Okay, so again, just know that we have older buildings throughout Arroyo Grande, not a lot of huge new things coming in. So, we just have those old circa buildings, and that kind of makes our town charming, and we love it. But that's just something that you need to be aware of as you're exploring Arroyo Grande. Friends, so as much as I like making these videos for you, I just want to remind you that my name is Bernice and I'm a real estate broker. And if you have any real estate needs, I'd love to be the resource for you. So just be sure to reach out with anything you need, day, evening, weekends, it doesn't matter because we have your back when you're moving to the Central Coast. So the last thing I want to make you aware of, I said 3 things here. I want you to explore the housing market, get to know it as you're coming into town. I have other videos after this, like I said, that'll be coming up. Is we are very spread out. Arroyo Grande is very spread out. The city limits are, outlined and identified, but we have rural areas. We have finger roads that I talk about. So you can go off into East AG, the Arroyo Grande Mesa, and, up into Rancho Grande, the Highlands. So we do have some master plans that were created about 20 years ago that are homes that are perched up on the hillside and easy to get to all the shopping. And then you have real rural roads that if you have horses, that's a possibility. If you want more of an estate, home, you want more of a luxury estate feel, indoor, outdoor, with a pool, or you want more views, you want a little bit more acreage, more elbow room, that's a possibility. So there's different areas throughout Arroyo Grande. And the other thing to note is the median price point currently is at $925. So there's a huge array of housing opportunities, styles, locations, amenities, and even and obviously different price points. So depending on where you're at in the city of Arroyo Grande or out and spread out, there's going to be different homes that are going to offer different things depending on where it's located. So for example, if you're going to be close to downtown, the village of Arroyo Grande, that's going to be prime because you're going to be close to that shopping, the coffee, all the things to get to that little community. 1, 2, 3. So of course the price points are going to be much higher if you're close to a downtown. That's pretty much location, factor there. So you're going to get a smaller, older home. or a smaller dialed in home for more money than if you were to pick a home out in the outskirts. So different there, that's kind of the cool thing, is you can have a lot of different opportunities. So I don't want you to regret moving here and not looking at all the possibilities, is my point. So there's like a golf course, Cypress Ridge, that is a gated community up on the Arroyo Grande Mesa. So that compares a lot to another location, which is Trilogy. And a lot of people don't realize when they go to Trilogy, which is a huge master plan of homes, they have a huge clubhouse. You know, there's an HOA that's almost $500. It's a whole nother different lifestyle. But Cypress Ridge is a true gated community. And through the years, I have just found that people went to Trilogy and they didn't realize that there was an actual like gated community on a golf course. Golf courses are obviously different. Lifestyles and the real estate are obviously different. At Cypress Ridge, it's gated and you have other amenities that Trilogy does not. Trilogy is definitely a, you know, one-stop community there with spa and, you know, just a huge gym and all kinds of activities that they have for their community. So does Cypress Ridge, but not on that caliber. So my point is, really need to reach out to somebody over here and really explore Arroyo Grande, you know, and then you're going to have some other things to be aware of. And that's that, you know, if you're going to be going on acreage, that you're going to have septic, you know, you're going to have propane. So there's other properties that you can get that can have that elbow room, but you can still have city utilities. So you need to know where those areas are at. If you're not familiar with those things and don't want to deal with it, then I would tell you where to go, where to look, and those types of things. But again, the nice thing is that the housing market is quite extensive for you to pick depending on your lifestyle in Arroyo Grande. So really explore it, get to know it, get to know the different areas within Arroyo Grande. All right, so here's a super exciting thing that I want to let you know about the city of Arroyo Grande and what they're doing actually throughout. They are really proactive with their ADUs, accessory dwelling unit. So that means you can have a second unit on your property. So let me bring that up for you. So this is rolling out. If you're familiar with what California is doing now, because we are in such need for housing, they are allowing certain cities like Grover Beach, you can add onto your property and do like a junior ADU and go from your property, or have a little separate something as long as it's connected to the property. But Arroyo Grande is rolling out this new program. So as you're looking at, you know, purchasing something here or just getting this information, is they've already got pre-approved plans with different architectural design for them. And the floor plans are already rolled out, as you can see here. And this is just exciting. Here's a 749 square foot, 3-bedroom. And they have their little names already, Manzanita. And then here you have Blue Blossom and the different exteriors, the different elevations for them. Floor plan examples. There's even a 400 2-bedroom square foot. You know, so this is just awesome. This is something that can be a possibility. So again, you know, if you've got a family member that you need to move into, you are, you know, with you, or there's, you know, extended family situations, investment part things, all those short-term rentals are not being favored right now in our community. So you have to do your due diligence. So reach out so you can share what it is that you need, and then we can guide you a little bit more. So there's meetings that are taking place. The next one's May 31st, as you can see here, and then June 6th. So they're really laying out some guidance to help our community grow. Like this is the Grover Beach ones. But so yeah, Arroyo Grande, very proactive in doing a secondary dwelling on the property. So I think that's something to get very excited about. And again, I just encourage you to really take a look at all of the areas, all of the pockets in Arroyo Grande. I have other videos about that and the different communities, so those will be coming up thereafter. I previously just did one about a little community called Berry Gardens. That's more of a tract home. So we have tract home subdivision, but there's just a lot to explore. And so just come into the area if you're thinking about San Luis Obispo, then maybe consider Arroyo Grande, or if maybe Arroyo Grande doesn't have the vibe, you want more action per se for our area, then maybe San Luis would be a better place for you. Yeah, so take your time, explore the area. I love Arroyo Grande because it was a great place for me to grow up, and it hasn't really lost that charm. It's just getting a little bit better, and more newer things have come into the buildings. So the only way that we can help you find that sweet spot here on the Central Coast is you've got to reach out. You got to give us a call, text, email, day, evening, weekends. It does not matter, because we have your back when you're moving to the Central Coast. So until the next video, we'll catch you later.